And before I get started, let me make sure that you can hear me. So I am on one of the multiple platforms that I'm streaming from at this exact moment. Or maybe you're watching this on my blog as a replay. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. Here it is. Can I hear myself? Yes, I can. Great. Awesome. Oh, oh no. There we go. Okay. I'm going to check my notes, make sure we stay on track, and let's talk about this. So, software bugs. Oh my gosh, software bugs. They can be some of the most frustrating things, right? Especially as a user. And so I'm sure we've all experienced it at some point. Windows, Firefox. Yeah, things happen. It just happens. There, unless you are very super rigorous in your testing, and even then, sometimes bugs just pop up from introduction of new code and all kinds of things. But regardless of all that, you have the ability to fix it. You just have to start from the basics. And so, as I was saying just a few minutes ago, I am currently hosting a Python programming basics bootcamp. We are about to hit week 2 training on Saturday. And today's training is going to be how to create and run a Python file to be executed inside of a command line. What does that all mean? That means writing a single file. It's a .py file, that's the extension, and putting it in this thing right here. Let me switch screen. Cool. All right, great. So what do you see here? This is kind of covered by the scrolling text there, but basically I'm on a Windows machine. This is my command line prompt. And I have run the command work on basics bootcamp. What does this do if you haven't watched my most recent trainings? Basically, I've installed Python. This particular version is 3.6, I believe. I have created a virtual machine, which I believe was yesterday's training that I did. And I have created it inside of a project folder. So what happens is it starts the virtual machine and it puts me inside of the folder where all of my files are for this particular project. One of my favorite tricks to do on your local machine. Tells you some information about it. And then I ran directory. I'm sorry, ran directory, and that's the one that has the information. And inside of it, it says, you know, what files are in here, folders, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this is the GitHub repo that I have, github.com/process Anyway, those files are in here, and that's where I'm at, because then I am changing directory into homework because I want to go into the homework file that I have been working on with my students. So why am I doing that? Why am I not just assigning, you know, implementation work so that they can build that programming muscle and strengthen that neuro connection? I'm doing that, one, so that I keep on my own toes, but two, so I can see what their experience is. Why? Because while I've taught thousands of people in corporate America Python programming, this is the first time I've done it external to corporate America, and it's the first time I've actually integrated an implementation portion to the training. Before, I could teach Python basics in like an hour. It'd be kind of fast and it'd be a lot of information, but then they would have material and, you know, they could go off on their own. But it's not the same as if you have someone to say, oh, I've seen that error, or excuse me, or oh, I've seen that and I can fix it for you or walk you through the process rather. And so it's just a different experience. So I am going through it with them to see what might their hangups be as they're going through it with me, or I'm going through it with them. So I have started to create these basic training implementation programs, and I'm sharing them with you. So we are currently in the command line prompt. We have a virtual machine running. You do not have to have a virtual machine running to do what I'm about to share with you, but you do have to have Python installed. Now, I've talked about why you should have a virtual machine, so I'm not going to cover that today. But let's go ahead and start. So I want to run this Python file. So depending upon how you have your settings set up, it might be Py, it might be Python. I believe it's Python in this one. Yes. Then it'd be Python and then whatever the file name is. So W1H1. And then I'm going to press the tab button. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. And then I'm going to press the tab button because there's autocomplete. So that went to the file, and I'm going to press enter. So this then printed, thank you for starting your name of Python file program. Please make your choice. Now, as of this exact moment in time, this is not completed yet for my students so that they can see an example of what I was looking for, but also for them to be able to play with. So if I did 5, sorry, I don't recognize your input. If they tried anything other than a number, then there's going to be an error. And the reason for that is we are covering exceptions and assertions in week 3. So I am, again, following through the process, attempting to put myself in their place on what is it that they might be seeing as they are attempting to create this for themselves. Because these files are actually going to live on my GitHub repo. So if you're watching, students, don't be watching or don't be looking at the code before you've attempted it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to show you what it looks like to try the other or the exit one, right? So I have exit and thank you, come again, and it starts it back at the beginning. So there are graceful ways to end programs. There are not graceful ways to end programs. That is covered in my boot camp. But that is it for today. That is how you that's how you run a Python file from your command line. And here's the sneak peek at what it currently looks like. So I have some documentation for docstring. I have a link here for one of my favorite websites, realpython.com, on documenting Python code. This is also covered in a Python pep file. It's all out there. And basically, the only difference between having this be able to run it in a command line and it not is this function right here. And it's not even a function, it's just an if statement. If dunder dunder name is equivalent to string dunder dunder main, which basically says this part of Python that's looking for this information, if it is main, i.e. I ran it from the command line or I ran it as a program, then run this portion of code, right? If this wasn't here, anything else in this file just would not run unless it was used to the module. So I have more doc code here. I have some comments so that my students know what I'm doing, right? Why am I even doing this here? So I'm creating a loop because I want it to continue until the user actually says, hey, I'm done, right? I have the quote unquote menu, the line to get the input from the user, and then what to do with those pieces. So it's not complete yet, right? Like I said, but this is the starting point for my students. So that way, if they are having trouble, they can see an example of what to do here. Thanks, Nancy. So that is it for now. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Cassandra, aka the Prosperous Heart. And if you are interested in learning Python, I do have a group and a Discord server. So Discord link is up here. And if you're interested in that boot camp, I do open my doors again in December. So just let me know if you're interested and we will see if it's a fit for you. So it's a few weeks and this is first round is just got me really excited because I'm also learning some things along the way. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful and prosperous rest of your day. And I will see you in the next one.